Check, check. Bingus bongus. Check, check. Bingus bongus. Okay. I think I am actually a little on the loud side, so I am going to turn myself down just a touch if I can help it. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Let me know if my audio is bad. Whoops. Let me adjust that camera slightly. I'm also leaning really far forward. Let me adjust my chair. Okay. I think we are ready to get started. Sorry if the stream is a little bit choppy right now. My computer restarted itself because it blue screened right before I was going to start streaming. So I am like still trying to fix things. Sorry, there might be some pings while I shut some stuff down to give myself back some processing power here, because I see the stream quality is dipping. Let me see if there's anything running in the background I can stop. I'm sure opening stuff just to like close it is also slowing things down, but I want to try to get this out of the way now so things will run smoothly once all this stuff is done. So if I look at what is taking up the most memory, Google Chrome is doing that. What if I close some things? I don't need my emotes page open. Probably don't need my email open. At least not the email associated with my stream and whatnot. I think we can close the Streamlabs dashboard. There are a couple more pages I don't want to close, but let me see how we're doing. Ooh, still not good. What is going on? Is my connection getting throttled? Let me do a speed test. My download's fine. Oh, my upload is atrocious. Why is my upload so bad? Hold on one second. Let me see here. Let me try another speed test. Oh, come on. Should I contact customer support? Okay, let me check data usage. Am I like hitting a data cap somehow? Ooh. Okay, it looks like my speed is coming back up. Ooh, come on, please stay stable. Oh, well, one thing might help. Close the Microsoft telemetry stuff, because that stuff always tanks my computer for some reason. What else could be causing problems here? There's something called a software reporter tool. Well, quitting the telemetry data seems to have temporarily kind of fixed the problem, so I'm gonna start, and if things start dropping again, I'll figure it out. So I don't remember where I was or what I was doing. Okay, we are still dropping loads of frames. Okay, we can sell this rifle. Can I see? Metis does have a better thing equipped. Okay, Junpei needs a new sword. And Akihiko needs a new fist weapon. Actually, everybody basically needs a new weapon. I think I'll give Junpei the new weapon first, because he is a little more dependent on his weapon being good than Akihiko. Okay, we're still dropping frames. Let me see what's going on here. So in terms of stuff I can do to make this run better, it actually looks like there's not a whole lot I could do at the moment. Let me check something. Okay. Like every time I start standing still, that is doing something. Like that's making it better. Okay, I found one thing online that it said might help. Let's roll with that. Ooh, that's like a terrible effect, but let's go with it anyway. I think selling his sword probably still won't give me enough. I'm like not gonna go out of my way to like reload the save, but honestly what I'm thinking is like let's just keep moving, and if we lose, then we just get a chance to buy the sword again and get a better ability on it. Like it's not worth saving this one. But if we can make it, then more power to us. This might be a little random, but my teeth really hurt today for some reason. I probably need to go to the dentist.
There are two enemies.
What do you not like? Fire.
Understood.
Who is... Junpei is next. Is there a persona we want to be getting experience? I think Nadatashi is fine.
Don't miss. It's on. All right. Here's a chance. Let's get him. Get back here, you son of a... Let's keep going.
So money would not be bad here. I think we might even not necessarily totally ignore experience, but we mainly want it.
Three enemies. It seems the enemy's weak against...
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target. Understood.
Strikes are weak.
The enemy's weak against ice. Let's get this started.
Weak against ice, you say? I think we know someone who does ice damage.
Go for it.
Okay. From what I read, what I just did should help with
3 enemies left.
some of the issues I'm having at the moment. So hopefully that kind of fixed the problem here. Who's next in the turn order? I think it actually would be good to get our friend here taken care of.
That one just waiting is part of my strategy.
One enemy to go.
Last one.
I won't miss.
Waiting is part
Come
of my
on, please knock
strategy.
this guy down. Or just get rid of him. Either or. Also, sorry the stream started late today. I've just been...
Just one enemy left.
It's like a 1-2 punch of like, I've been super busy
All
at
enemies
work.
defeated.
And then today I did log off work at 5, but because some chores had been piling up while I was too busy with work to do them, I had to do them today, and that's what made me late. But we should be in the clear for the most part after today. So that's good. I won't say no more streams starting late, but no more...
There are
Like,
2
next week
enemies.
should be a normal
The enemy-
week for me.
Understood.
I think I kind of just want to let Metis do her thing.
Let's get this started. My will is the source of my power.
Okay, now.
Metis defeated an enemy.
That's the last one.
Okay, I was hoping she would like knock them both down, but I think we can still work with this. That is bad. That is bad. Bad, 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 bad. But now it's not bad.
See that?
Now it's fine. Ooh, one thing we should probably have done is stock up on like discharms and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing we can do about it if we get charmed, but we should at least have something if somebody else gets charmed. So Metis, you do you.
The enemy's
Go
down.
with that. And
That one just won't die.
Come on, let's dance. Persona.
okay, that's fine. I would have preferred if she had gone for the other one,
Metis
but
defeated an enemy.
we can work with this.
Enemy defeated.
Okay.
Won't quit. There are 2 now.
I couldn't finish it off. Check this out. Good job. That one just won't die.
One enemy to go.
That's the last one.
It's weak. Only
Okay, we
one
can just
enemy
do that. That works.
left. The enemy is getting strong.
Ooh, more money. That would be very good. Discord.
It seems like it's weak against
Honestly,
fire.
I don't even know that
Only
fighting
one
this
enemy
thing is
left.
worth it. Hello, SC Kid. How are you doing?
There are two of them, and there's the enemies.
Sure. Let me just get Discord opened up. My computer blue screened like
Good one.
15 minutes before I started streaming, and it's like still opening.
Let's keep going.
There we go. I'm in. Now I can take callers.
My skills have increased.
Yeah, my computer blue screened. I spent like the first
There are 4 enemies.
20 minutes after I started streaming figuring out some internet trouble. It's been a thing.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
This is quite the predicament.
Understood.
It's on.
Keep swinging.
That one just.
It's weak against electricity.
Electricity, you say? There we go.
Here's our chance. I've been waiting for this.
Hello.
Hello.
You see that, Shinji?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Your computer blue screen. Yikes.
Yeah. It just does that sometimes when I like plug in my capture card for some reason. I have no idea why.
Oof.
My skills have
Yikes.
improved.
That is. And you have like a decent computer, don't you?
It was a decent computer when I got it,
Surprise them.
which was like 5 years ago at this point.
I feel like that's still gotta be like okay, right?
Yeah. Like,
Understood.
especially when I'm not like playing the game on the computer, it's just capturing and streaming. Like, it should be fine.
Mhm.
Waiting is part of my strategy.
Yeah.
Let's get this started.
But how
Also,
you
wow,
been?
these Oh, I've been alright. I've been well. I just real quick, the things you're fighting in game, terrifying.
Now's your chance.
Yeah. I don't even know what to call those other things. And then these lions, they're just creepy.
3 enemies
Mhm.
left. Please be careful.
Like,
The
I don't know what I would call these things, but they've got like wheels, but like they've also got legs on the wheels.
and then they have like the spiky arm things.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It seems
Oh,
Thomas
the
has
the,
one
the
down on
wheels
this one.
are legs.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
The
That
enemy
is how do they move? Wait a minute, hold on.
defeated.
Can they move forward? Looks like they can only rotate.
So I just got attacked by one. I don't know how the stream delay is for you, but they
Oh, there- yeah, I
basically
saw.
just roll forward, and it kind of looks like they just skid on their many knees to get to you.
Nevis defeated an enemy.
Oof. Hate is a strong word, but man, do I hate it.
No shadows detected.
I appreciate one. I think, like everyone says, like Final Fantasy's thing, right, is like more belts. Like with each iteration of Final Fantasy, they add more belts. I think with Persona, it's like the enemies get more limbs every
Oh.
entry.
So I'm guessing in the first game was a ton of snakes.
Yeah, in the first game, there's a bunch of just like normal-looking zombies, like. You know, a couple of the classic demons are there. Floating basketballs, toilets, like, you know, out there, but like normal. And now we're fighting stuff that's like, I can't even describe it. It's got like 6 legs and no hands.
You've surprised them. It's weak against ice.
This fight I
mean-
just got into is like a naked priest sitting on an inverted pyramid. It's out there. It's
Yeah, I mean it's I guess naked priest liberating. That makes sense, kind of. You know.
yeah.
He's feeling liberated.
Just won't die. I couldn't finish it off.
Ooh, by the way, the so I don't know any of the characters' names. The I think girl, who is like super pale, and like is the one like leading the party when you run around.
Yeah, I guess.
Part of my strategy.
I guess. Okay. Is she Naruto running? And like, was that a thing before Naruto? Also, is this game older than Naruto?
Let's see. This game came out in, I think, 2010?
So no, not older than Naruto.
Yeah, so very possibly Naruto running.
Love that.
I would even say... Now, my memory of time is just that I was a child at some point and I am an adult now. So my knowledge of years might be wrong. But 2010, wasn't that kind of like around peak Naruto mania?
What was I doing in 2010? I just moved back to America in 2010. Okay. I guess I'm not really sure when Naruto mania peaked. Cuz I remember watching Naruto on like Toonami when I was in like elementary school. And
Okay,
then
so
2010 was when I was watching Bleach. Bleach was like the thing in 2010 for me.
yeah, so I found the Naruto Wikipedia, and
Ooh.
if I scroll down, 2010 was right after the start of Shippuden.
Ah,
Like
okay.
January 6th of 2010 was close to the end of the like Gaara arc at the beginning of Shippuden.
Mm.
So actually I would say this is probably a little bit past like peak Naruto mania. I feel like Naruto like peaked at the Naruto Sasuke fight in the Final Valley. Like that's when like that was the thing everybody was making AMVs out of on like 2008 YouTube. That was how I discovered Linkin Park.
No, no.
It has
Yes.
Good choice.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, hold on. I remember there was
The enemy is
there was this one band. Which band was it? Was it 3 Days Grace?
3 Days Grace. I am familiar.
I think
Part of my strategy.
I found out about 3 Days Grace through RuneScape AMVs.
Ooh. You know, I doubt it was as big of a piece of the pie as I remember, but I honestly wonder if, like, the sort of, like, late 2000s, early 2010s, like, emo music scene was, like, how much of it was driven by people watching AMVs on YouTube or something. I feel like it has to be a non-zero amount.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's definitely, like, with a Venn diagram, there's definitely overlap between anime fans and emo fans. I feel like, especially with that era of anime, there were a lot of, like, edgy animes. Like literally, not to come back to Bleach again, but, you know, Bleach was, like, you know, the edgy anime for, like, a long period of time.
Yeah, like, it was Bleach, like, I don't think Naruto is, like, especially dark, but, like, the thing in the final valley was, like, full of emotion, and it definitely got darker later on, like, once you got into Shippuden.
Would you say Full Metal Alchemist, either original or Brotherhood, were kind of emo? It was pretty edgy, at the very least.
Edgy at the very least, I would say. Like, obviously the, like, opening and, like, the premise of Full Metal Alchemist is very, like, dark and depressing and, like, stuff like that, but I don't actually remember, like, the tone of the show being that, like, beyond that. But it's been a while since I've seen it, so...
Yeah, it's been a minute for me, too. What other edgy emo animes were there?
I mean, Death
Oh,
Note.
Darker Than Black?
Darker Than Black. I don't think I ever saw that one, but I remember, like, hearing about it.
I remember it was Oh, I don't want to butcher the premise. I remember watching it around 2010, I think, and it was definitely one of those, like, so, like, there are people with, like, supernatural abilities, but they have to make a sacrifice to use their abilities. And so some people have to make, like, regular sacrifices. So every time they use the ability, they have to make a sacrifice. Other people have, like, a one-time sacrifice, and then they have that permanent ability. And so, like, some of them were, like, kind of silly. Like, one guy had to turn into a cat in order to use his powers. But the rest were, like, another character had to break his fingers on the regular to be able to fly. Another person had to kill his sister in order to use, like, his electricity powers. Etc., etc.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that, but now you know how I feel about JoJo. This sounds very similar to some of the wackier premises in JoJo. So I may end up going back and watching that. I still need to go back and finish Bleach. I made it to, like, episode 170 or 190. I kind of forgot where I was, like, number-wise. But I know I was, like, almost, if not more than, halfway through. So I feel slightly obligated to go back and finish it now, like... I made it past the halfway point.
There's so many episodes.
There are a lot of episodes.
I looked it up. Over 8 years, they released 366 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh my god.
And a lot of it was filler. Or actually, I think Bleach was not as bad on filler as, like, Naruto and One Piece were, but there's still a lot of it.
Also, like, officially, there are, like, you know, there are different arcs, right?
Yeah.
Throughout most of Bleach. I think half of all of the arcs are just, like, a Rancor arc part X. Like, part 1, part 2, part... Like, most of the series is just the Rancor arc.
Yeah, the thing I appreciate about Bleach is it does not try to tie the filler into the canon material at all. You
Yeah,
can
that's
skip the filler arcs and come back whenever you want because they don't even try. It's like I think the very first filler arc they did try to tie in, but after that they were just like, there is no way we can get these characters from Hueco Mundo back to the real world and explain it and get them back and put them right back where they were. So we're not gonna try.
Mm.
Just enjoy this side story and we'll be back when we're not caught up to the manga.
All right, I think I'm looking at the list of episodes. I think I got to season 8, a Rankar arc part 3, when Ichigo finds his Bankai.
He finds his Bankai at the end of the what's it called? The like Rukia rescue arc. That might not be what it's actually called, but I can't remember the actual name. I think they called it the Soul Society arc. I think that's like what they call it, even though every arc is really a Soul Society arc if you think about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's not. Hold on. I have no clue. I have no clue. There's just so many episodes. I remember. What was her name? Nell.
Yeah, Nell, the like
I remember her.
tiny child who I have not gotten to this part, but I know eventually transforms into like a fully adult woman
Yes.
with
I
horse
got
legs.
to that part. That is where I got to. I think.
I think I am like just before that part. So I have been watching the filler arcs, and the last canon thing I left off on was the like Grimmjow and Ichigo fight where Grimmjow does his like hollow version of a Bankai. I forget what they call them, but that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I remember kind of that.
yeah, so that just happened, and then there's a filler arc right after that
Surprise them.
that I just finished.
You found the enemy's weakness. The enemy's
And then
Now's our
I
chance.
don't remember exactly because I have reached a point where I was not watching the show in sequence. I was watching it whenever I could get away with staying up till midnight to watch it on TV.
I remember those days.
So, but I think I remember the like Nell, and I think the fight is against like Noitora.
good one.
Probably butchering the name, but you know their names. You know they can't be pronounced.
Oh gosh, no. I don't remember who was Noitoro?
Defeated it.
So he's
All right.
his like hollow Bankai thing was like that he had 6 scythes, and he also shot lasers out of his mouth, and he had his tattoo on his tongue. Those are like the 3 things I remember about him.
So I looked him up. I remember his face and like nothing else.
Three enemies. You've surprised them. It seems
Honestly, I think most of his like scenes are kind of, I don't want to say underwhelming necessarily, because like when the story needs him to be threatening and scary, he is like kind of threatening and scary in the like Joker kind of way, but this may or may not have been before or concurrent with Heath Ledger's Joker, so it wasn't like a totally played out thing yet.
Okay.
2 enemies left.
Also,
but like
Hi,
most of his
Fridays.
interactions with the other Espada are just like
Couldn't finish it off.
like he's just one of those generic bad guys that's like, wow, when can we kill them? And they're like, not yet, we have to wait. And he's like, why? And he's like, and they're just like, we have to wait, don't worry about it.
That is definitely basic bad guy trope 101.
Keep your filthy hands off
Ooh, that looks like a fun attack just there.
Yeah.
Y'all ran in the middle and there's a big cloud of smoke and then ta-da, you won.
Yeah. It's an all-out attack.
Ooh.
In Persona 4,
attack?
the animation gets even better because if you actually beat all of the enemies with it, like a mushroom cloud shows up with a skull in it. It's really cool.
I love that. Oh, that's great.
Let's see. Oh, these are literally all the same. Never mind.
Oh, sad. Oh, is there a question for the stream? I don't know if you're still doing that.
There
or
is not. I've been planning to still do those, but today I was just rushing last minute to get everything done and didn't think of one.
Good job.
All good, all good.
Tell you what, we will retroactively make the question, what was your favorite anime?
Definitely Bleach. Definitely, it was Bleach growing up. Watched so much of that shit.
Akihiko Senpai defeated an enemy.
Are you typing that into the Discord?
I am typing that into the stream title so that people can see it. There we go. It should update. I don't know. Twitch is sometimes weird about updates mid-stream, but it should work.
No, it did. It did.
Okay, that's good. I guess I'll take Aerobus. I forget what this guy even has in terms of skills.
Does he have orbs or ropes?
He does wind magic and a defense buff that I think is worse than a defense buff I already have.
Hmm. Lame. Also, wait, is that him on the side?
Yep,
Is that a horse person?
it is a horse person.
Huh.
I do not know the actual lore behind this one, but there's probably something to do with a horse.
Did you watch the movie Sorry to Bother You?
I did not, but I already know what happens in it, so I think I will know what you're referring to.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it, because even though I know the ending, I've heard it's very good.
It was pretty great, and then it also gets really just bizarre.
4 enemies. They seem rattled. Understood.
Like it's like a lovely commentary, and then also it's like, what did I just watch?
Trismegistic. Good job.
Along similar lines, I did just see Squid Game.
Ooh, how is that?
It's very good. I highly recommend it.
Enemies left. You're on a roll.
Oh, also, hi Fridays. I have not been watching the chat. I should
Portia mode.
be watching that. But hi, and thank you for joining the Discord.
One enemy to go.
Last one.
Hi, Fridays.
Hello Fridays. If you would like to join us, I have not like advertised that I do this nearly enough. You can like call into the stream or call in. I don't have a phone number for this stream, and I probably never will because that'll take too much effort. But I try to have like a call-in topic every stream. I didn't have one at first today, but thanks to SC Kid,
You've surprised them.
our wonderful first caller. Is the rules command not working? I think I have. I thought I set up a command for that. I'll have to see. The rules are also in the Discord. It's pretty simple, just, you know, no copyrighted stuff over the microphone, no bigotry, anything I really shouldn't have to say not to do, and I don't expect anyone to have, like, need me to say not to do it, but it's there anyway. It's fun. You should join us and talk about anime.
Yeah.
But I was also saying Squid Game, very good. Highly recommend. It's like, I don't know how to describe it in a way that like won't also like give away some of the best parts of it. But it's very good. It's definitely got that like societal, like capitalist critique element to it. And it's
Also
very
got a-
good.
I got a message here from Fridays.
Message from Fridays. Ah. Oh, do I have an age limit? You are 13? Yeah, I don't think I have a problem with you joining the stream, or joining and talking. Yeah, I don't think I have a problem with that.
Cool beans, cool beans.
Like, I do mark the stream as mature just because, like, I don't want to have to, like, censor myself, or, like, you know, if I'm playing a game that has more, like, mature themes or content, like, I don't want to have to worry about that, even though I think most people wouldn't worry about it anyway, like, just that extra bit of precaution. But, like, I'm not too particular on who is, like, in my chat or talking, as long as, like, it's another one of those, like, as long as the, like, obviously shouldn't be crossed boundaries aren't being crossed, I have no problem.
Oh, a question from my end then also. Do you have like a number of people you want in the call at like max?
I haven't figured it out.
Cool beans.
I think it's theoretically when there is too many people for me to be able to keep control of the conversation, I will start like kind of moving people out in a arbitrary kind of choosing who I want to. Okay, how do I actually like? Okay. Friday, welcome to the stream chat.
Hello.
Good night. Morning, whatever it's called.
I cannot hear you, Friday. I don't know if that's a me thing or if that is a Discord thing or if that is another thing. Oops, I just walked into that.
There's a lot of lions.
It is. There's a part of me that's thinking I should just run from these things, because, like, I'm low on health.
Be careful. Menace is bad for hurt. I don't think
But could you use
Right.
the
I can fail to escape. That is a thing that can happen.
No.
Is unconscious.
Ooh.
Do they have like? Is that like a ball and chain, or is that a balloon?
It is a ball and chain with like a face on it. I think there are items that let me like automatically escape from battle. I do have one. Let's do that.
You're using an item in a game?
I am.
Oh my gosh! What if you need it later?
Well, the fun thing is I needed it now. That is the one thing that this particular game and not many others, even in its own series, get right, is it's actually worth using the items.
Oh, excellent.
I hear your comment.
Okay, let me turn you up, but I think I can hear you. Try now. Try talking now.
Blah blah. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you. I don't know how well it's going to pick up on stream, but we'll roll with it. How you doing?
Doing well.
That's good. So actually, if you're 13, I'm gonna bet you were probably not watching a lot of anime in the 2000s to 2010s.
Not sadly. In those 2020 10s, I probably was 2 years old.
2 enemies. You've surprised them. The enemy.
Sorry, I just felt my life pass before my eyes briefly, as I felt old all of a sudden.
Well, you're not old, man. It's just people are young.
Yeah. That is a very, like, respectable, like, mature answer to that. Thank you. So what is your favorite anime in general, if you are watching much anime at this point?
It was a fucking movie, and it was like kind of sad. It was the fucking one about the deaf girl. That's what got me into anime. I forget what it was, but yeah.
That was easy.
And what was it called? But yeah, my current favorite anime is probably fucking One Piece.
Ooh, One Piece is pretty good. I have tried many times to watch that all the way through and failed every time.
Yeah, I just watch random episodes because there's like a lot of episodes.
Yeah, that's probably the way to do it.
Ooh, was the anime a silent voice?
There's one enemy.
Yeah, that one, I'm pretty sure.
I never saw it, but it's like one of the first anime my brother watched, and I think he was really into that.
That's what got me into anime. And I started watching other stuff.
Damn you! I've been waiting for this.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
That's that was like the first anime I watched, and then I started to get into other stuff.
Awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, sorry if my voice is a little annoying.
No, you're fine.
All good.
Yeah. I used to play Fortnite today. People always got mad at me because of my voice. But I
No,
was
you're
11 at the time.
you're 13, you're fine. Honestly, my voice didn't get deeper like until maybe 16 or 17. So
Okay.
it'll happen at some point. You'll be fine. But people shouldn't like judge you for that or anything.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I remember my 13-year-old voice. Oof. I would crack constantly.
Yeah.
It would fluctuate between like a 20-year-old's voice and a 10-year-old's voice. Very bad. Friends caught it on camera, and I cried.
There are 2 enemies.
Not actually, I didn't actually cry, but it was a sad moment.
Understood. FES. Limiters released.
They're still making One Piece, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They're
It's
on
like-
like
6 episodes or something.
One enemy to
yeah, I think they're getting close to either episode 1000 or chapter 1000 of the manga if they have not already passed that.
There's like 20 seasons,
Yeah.
and I've only watched like 1/8 of all of them, and they're all just from random seasons.
Yeah, I've watched everything in order up to Skypia, and then every time I have tried to watch Skypia in particular, I just burn out because there's like, I'd say a good most of that arc, nothing happens. Like I think it's called the Jaya arc right before that, where they're on the ground trying to get to Skypia, and that one's really good. But as soon as they actually get to Skypia, stuff just stops happening. Like the group gets separated, and then I think there's like 10 or 15 episodes worth of them just like trying to find each other in a forest, and I was like, I can't do this.
That is a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Just pure filler. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I've heard it actually gets worse after the time skip, so I have not caught. Like I know the stuff that happens, and I've played the video games. The video games are very good. The Pirate Warriors series in particular is very good. I would almost say, having tried and failed to watch One Piece all the way through, playing the Pirate Warriors games is the best way to get caught up. Because it summarizes like hundreds of episodes worth of material in like a 30-minute level of a video game. And you don't miss that much.
One thing I could not do is tell you the lore of the game. I like know barely anything. I just watch this. Cool. The lore is pretty confusing to me.
Yeah. Like, it's weird to think about, because we were talking about Bleach and Naruto earlier. Like, One Piece, I remember, at least in America, started airing at, like, the same time as those, and, like, Bleach and Naruto have both been done for years, and One Piece is just still going.
Didn't they actually restart Bleach? Like they're like last year or something, they announced they're like releasing another season.
Yeah, so the
Well,
thing
other
with
than that,
Bleach
it had been done
was
for years,
they canceled the anime before it actually got done adapting the manga because the
Oh.
arc before the last one was so bad everyone stopped watching.
No way.
Yeah. So what they announced is that they are going to adapt the last arc of the manga into an anime.
3 enemies. You've surprised them.
So it's like, it's new anime, but the series itself, at least in my mind, has been finished for a while.
Yeah, it's basically been finished.
I do hope, though, when they go to, hopefully they dub the new season of Bleach, I hope they somehow get back, like, the original dubbed voice cast. Because, like, I'm not usually big on dubbed anime, but, like, the ones that I grew up watching dubbed, I can't watch subbed. It just doesn't feel right. So I hope they get the original voice cast back for that. I don't know how likely it is because I don't know what they're up to now, but
Yeah, it's been like
hopefully.
a decade. It's who knows.
Were you gonna say something, Friday? I thought I might have cut you off there.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I only watch dubbed, and I barely ever watch anything sub.
That's fair.
Most people, a bunch of people got mad at me for saying that's kind of annoying.
No, you're good. Like, you're 13. You have plenty of time to experience life and spend way too much time watching anime, or other shows for that matter. In terms of recommendations, I will say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is very good and getting a 6th season, I think next month, or no. It's coming out in December, so like a little over a month. So now is a good time to get caught up on that. And then there's the live action Cowboy Bebop coming out very soon, I think, which I don't know how good that's going to be, but it's been making me want to rewatch the original Cowboy Bebop.
I've never actually seen Cowboy Bebop.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's pretty good. And it's like only 26 episodes long. So it's like not that difficult to like just kind of binge through. I think there is also a Cowboy Bebop movie, but I don't think I actually ever saw that.
I think I have to watch this now.
Yeah. The anime is on Netflix.
They're turning it into a. It looks like live action movie.
Yeah. They're doing like a live action series. I think it's going to be a TV show. The trailers I've seen for it, like, they don't look bad necessarily, but so what I think happened with, granted it's not out yet, so maybe I should withhold my judgment on it, but from watching the trailers for it, for this new live action show, what I think happened is they like really took in the criticism of the Death Note live action adaptation they did recently, but like they took in the criticism too much. Like the criticism was like, it looks way too different from like the style of the original Death Note. Like it just doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel like Death Note. And so with this one, they were like, okay, we're just gonna one for one recreate the anime's like style, character, aesthetics, all of that in live action. And now I'm like, this just looks too weird. Like, the main character, like Spike Spiegel's outfit in the trailers, like it's literally the same outfit he wore in the anime, but it looks a lot goofier in live action than I think it does in the anime. And I don't remember it being like an 100% serious anime, but like I don't remember thinking the characters looked goofy, if that makes sense.
That's unfortunate.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Honestly, I might just keep running from the combat and like just go try to fight the boss, because why not?
Are those just sentient crosses?
Yeah.
Anime, the fucking surface ring is like the elemental ones.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
It's not really important.
I heard the word anime.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I love seeing you run away from moonwalking hands.
Yeah. The game is being very kind to me and putting stairs like right next to the entrance to each floor.
2 hours left to download.
Ooh, that sounds like a long download.
Yeah, but I'm downloading a
There are
ROM thing.
enemies. Be careful.
Like a bunch of
Is it
Pokemon.
Persona?
Yeah, it's Persona 2 ROM.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a big Persona fan?
Could say, but like, would I? I don't know if I'd be considered a big Persona fan. I've only played like 5, 4, and Q too. I don't know if
I
you
mean,
can call
that's
that
the
a big
thing with Persona. It's like the series is like kind of so scattered across stuff. I don't think like the usual like sort of I think like litmus tests for like levels of fandom in like online communities are kind of weird anyway, but like I think the usual like, oh, I've played every game in the series, that makes me a big fan, kind of doesn't work with
Yeah, for
Persona, because
Persona-
it's like, where do you draw the line? Do you say like, oh, all the modern Personas like 3, 4, and 5, or like all
even
of
if you
the Personas including 1 and 2, or like do you also include SMT because it's like technically related but it's also not really? I think if you like the games, you're a fan. Like that's all we need. Or like I'm trying to like do combat and explain my thoughts and it's difficult, but I think you know what I'm getting at. Like
yeah, I know. And also, even if you were like saying like the mainstream or like recent games, there's so many mobile games that are Japanese exclusives,
yeah.
and all the manga not translated. There's so much stuff that's just Japanese exclusive.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of really hard to be a true fan of Persona if you really want to be
Yeah.
one.
It's hard
Well,
to
not that-
like be a 100% Persona fan because Atlas just won't let people, basically. I think Atlas has been getting better about that recently, at least where SMT is concerned. Like they just remastered Nocturne, and they're also doing all the like multi-platform ports of Persona 4, and they did it with 5 Scramble, which is a little weird because the like Scramble is a sequel to 5, but 5 is still only on PlayStation. So it's like you can play the sequel to Persona 5 on anything, but you can't play Persona 5 on anything yet, aside from PlayStation.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
That is weird.
Yeah, the like, I think it's the 25th anniversary this year, and they're doing like a whole bunch of announcements this year. I'm hoping at least 2 of those announcements are like more cross-platform ports of, especially their like older titles. Like I'm kind of okay with 5 not getting a port right away, even though Scramble got a port, because like it's the newest game in the series. It's on a system that is like very easily accessible. Like it's on PS3, or the like updated version Royal is only on PS4, I think, but the basic version of Persona 5 is on PS3 and 4. Like even if you have somehow upgraded to a PS5 at this point, it's backwards compatible. Like it's not that hard to play 5, but like I don't want to out myself on anything that could potentially have issues with Twitch's terms of service, so I will just say it was very difficult to play 1 and 2 in a fully authentic fashion. Wink, wink. So I would really like to see Persona 1 and the like 2 versions of Persona 2 that exist to get ported, or like I think I would prefer a remaster, but like I'll take a port onto some kind of modern hardware. And I think 3 is like, it's still not that hard to find and play a legitimate copy of 3, but it wouldn't hurt for it to be available on more modern systems. And the SMT series just as a whole needs to be like ported. SMT1 was released in English on the iPhone only, and they stopped updating it, and it doesn't work on modern iOS anymore. So it's technically been English released, it just is not playable in any form.
Never played any of the SMT games.
Yeah.
The only thing I know is that they had a whatever it was with the Devil May Cry Dante.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Nocturne. You don't need to play the SMT games in order, like, at all. I would say I have actually not played Nocturne, like, all the way through, but I would say Nocturne is a good place to start, or 4 is a good place to start if you have a 3DS, or, you know, some way of playing 3DS games not on a 3DS somehow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let me see. What was I gonna do about these guys?
Ooh, my laptop is about to die, so I'm gonna drop from the call. But enjoy the rest of the stream. This was very fun talking with you both.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Good.
Go charge that laptop.
Will do. Bye.
But yeah, I would say Nocturne's a good place to start. 4 is a good place to start. 4 is probably easier than Nocturne, but Nocturne has like better graphics and visuals.
Okay.
So if that's something that matters to you, I would say pick Nocturne. Otherwise, 4 is pretty good.
Okay.
And SMT5 is about to come out on the Switch. I think I want to try to do something like special for that. Like maybe I'll try to set aside some time and just like hop on stream the day it comes out and just play it like all day. But we'll see.
Will SMT5 have any relation to the other games, or is it its own story?
It'll probably be its own self-contained thing. They usually don't do a whole lot of like crossover between SMT games. If anything, it's more like Easter eggs, I would say.
So like in Persona 5, like you had mention of you and the battle, like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. I would say stuff like that, or sometimes even like less than that. Like sometimes it'll just be like a character's dialogue will make like an offhand reference to something that happened in a different SMT game, but it's like not related to anything happening like currently in the story. Like nothing that would be like so important that you would be like missing anything by not having played them.
I'm probably will buy 5 just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I would imagine 5 will end up being kind of the most beginner-friendly one. It's not out yet, so I can't really evaluate it on that, but I think they know that a lot of people are like coming to the series from Persona 5 being so popular. So I would imagine they're gonna try to make it a little more beginner friendly. Like I don't think it'll be like easier necessarily, but they'll like go to a little more effort to explain mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah, will it be on Switch?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Switch.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a Switch exclusive. I might be wrong on that.
I'm gonna get new Joy-Cons. I got like hella drift.
Yeah, I've had that problem with like 2 sets of Joy-Cons now, and now I just have like a Pro controller that I use. Like, I don't like how expensive Pro controllers are, but the way I looked at it was like, I'm gonna keep buying Joy-Cons like every year or so when they like go out on me, or I can just get a Pro controller that shouldn't have this problem. And so far it hasn't. So.
Now's your chance. Go. That one just won't die.
The enemies return to normal. Going into Orgia mode.
So, did you hear about the Persona X ice cream collab? I don't know what ice cream company it is, but it's.
Ooh, I
ice
did
cream
not
company.
hear about that. I'm gonna check that out.
But there's like there's this super cool art of like all the characters, like even the Persona 1 and 2 protagonists.
Ooh.
I'm gonna send it to you on Discord real quick. I think I have the photo.
Yeah, if you have a picture, you're probably gonna have to post it in memes.
Okay. And here.
But yeah, I think I found it on Google here. That's pretty neat. Ooh, they even have like the different school symbols on like little, I don't know what you would call those, like plastic things.
You couldn't finish it off.
The enemies return to normal. Persona!
Go for it.
Here's an image excluding the 2 and 1 protagonist, 'cause it's the one I have downloaded.
Ooh.
Still alive.
That is really cool. I hope at some point they do start announcing things that like we're actually gonna
Yeah.
get outside of Japan related to the anniversary, but this is cool.
Only thing that sucks about Persona is that it's mostly just in Japan.
Yeah,
That's the way.
like I think Atlas knows there is an international audience for it, which is kind of I don't know if I'd go call it a huge improvement, but it's like better than they were prior to Persona 5 coming out. But yeah, they have a habit of like mainly releasing
Your chance. Go.
all the cool extra stuff in Japan.
Yeah, like back then, every mobile game was only Japan.
Yeah.
If you look in the memes chat, I posted the ice cream they're serving at place in Japan. Pretty cool.
Ooh.
Careful.
Finish it
Dennis
off.
is badly hurt.
Yeah, that looks good. I actually went to Japan once and tried one of these kinds of places. They're pretty good. Let's see. Oh, what am I gonna do? Everybody is hurt. I think I should just heal.
I need your help. Next unconscious.
It's on. I couldn't finish it off.
Take this.
Check this out.
Won't let us. Watch out! I guess. No!
Okay, that fight did not go super well. The thing is, I don't know if I actually need to go level up more, or I just need to not use Saki Mitama. Maybe I should like fuse it into something else, so I'm not using a persona that's like weak to physical damage. Because the skills
What,
it
you
gets are
just
so
died?
good, but... Sorry, what was that?
Did you just die?
Yeah.
Oh, sucks.
君はね確かにあの時私
It's
think I'll give the fight one more try. Just like with the stuff I have. Because the one thing about the answer that I don't like is there's like in the like basic Persona 3 like main game, the journey, there was a checkpoint system on the floor each boss was on in Tartarus, so I could like warp back, heal, make new personas, and then go back and attempt the fight with like the best stuff available to me. But with this with the answer, the checkpoints are after each boss fight instead. So like if I want to go back and do other stuff to prepare for this fight, I have to go all the way through this section of the dungeon again.
Nice, Metis. The enemies are Come on, let's dance. Persona. I thought that would do it. Fight hard. Junpei-kun!
Still alive.
The enemies return to normal.
Damn. Couldn't finish it.
My will is the source of my power. Thought that would do it. Give me a sec. I'll scan
Let me
the
see
target.
here. Ooh, honestly, Black Frost might be the move here. Because it's... the only weakness it has is light, which... if they've got light magic, they've got light magic. There's just nothing I can do about that.
Watch out!
That one just won't die.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
I think I should heal everybody, make sure
Take this!
they don't die.
It's on. All right. Damn. I couldn't finish it off.
Systems shutting down. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target. Persona! Help Metis. Metis is unconscious. The enemies return to normal.
Check this out. I'm good to go. That one just won't die.
I need your help. That's it. The enemy
Get
is
'em.
down.
Maybe I should also have Akihiko healing people. That seems like a good idea.
I just went to 14 hours.
Ooh.
Don't know why it's taking so long. It could be installing a big virus, but I'm pretty sure I'm just installing both the two.
Enemies return to normal.
It's on! I'm good to go. That one just won't die. Go for it!
It's a tough one. Persona!
Don't overdo it.
The enemies return to normal.
Check this out.
Keep swinging.
That one just won't die.
Here. I need your help. The enemy is down. Now's your chance. Understood. I need your help.
Isn't the German man from the 1930s in Persona 2? I'm not gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
his name. I'm pretty sure it's TOS.
Yeah, he is. He's in
Oh god.
he's in Persona 2 Innocent Sin. I don't think he makes an appearance in Eternal Punishment, but yeah.
Oh god.
I don't know if you have seen the efforts they went to censor him in the Western release of Innocent Sin, but it was not much.
Didn't they just give him a coat?
They gave him some sunglasses, not even a coat.
Wow. And they didn't like they changed like his army into a bunch of anime girls.
No, I think I remember his army being the same. They did take out the like swastika symbol. They replaced it with a different symbol associated with the group in question that's like less specifically associated with horrible historic crimes. I mean, it's still associated, but not as like one-to-one as the swastika was.
It's a tough one. Defense weakened. Please be
Like,
careful.
obviously it's still associated with a hate group, but it's like a different symbol, basically.
Okay.
Okay, I do still have beat chains. I was wondering where those went.
Take this.
Stupid question. So does it go Persona to the does it go Persona to the what's it called?
The order is Innocent Sin, then Eternal Punishment.
Oh, Innocence and then Eternal. Okay, thanks for telling me.
Yeah, no worries. It's extra fun because Eternal Punishment was actually released first here on the PlayStation 1. We didn't get Innocent Sin until the PSP port. So for a while we only had the sequel, and even now we have Innocent Sin on the PSP, but we never got the PSP version of Eternal Punishment. So if you want to play Persona 2 in its entirety, the only way right now to play it is to play the PSP version and then go back to the PS1 version of Eternal Punishment and play that.
Yeah, it's
There
gonna
is
be
a
a little-
fan translation that's like in the works, but it's been in the works for a long time. I don't know what the progress is on it. I know they're still working on it.
Which game is this for? The
Eternal Punishment's PSP port. Someone was working on a English translation, but
The enemies return to normal.
let me see.
The enemy.
Let me see if they have like posted anything on their website. Okay, I don't see anything.
oh, why was Igor's nose bigger back then?
Yeah.
Couldn't think it get any bigger. Well, there's a Discord server for it. Oh, never mind, it's gone.
Take this.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, I didn't see any recent updates on the website of the group that's doing it, but they do a lot of fan translation projects. So, and I remember the last update I saw on the Eternal Punishment translation, they had said like the programmer they were working with like had to stop working on it. So they like had to find somebody else to do the like programming work.
Wow, that stuff was pretty annoying.
I won't lose.
Careful. The enemy's going to attack.
It's on. Good job.
Domination.
All right, that's another boss down.
Was it fun?
It was challenging. I don't know if I'd call it fun.
Oh.
I think the answer kind of falls into I want to call it like an easy trap of like RPG game design where like instead of making the boss like strategically difficult, it just has a lot of health a lot of the time.
It's annoying.
And like with this boss I just fought, they were each weak to a different element, which I like because it encourages like strategy. But because they also like have dodge of the element they're weak to, it's like 50-50 if I'm actually going to hit them with the element they're weak to. So like it's worth it to try because those all-out attacks are so much damage. Or you can also like cheese the fights by just kind of sitting there and waiting for them to get back up and then knocking them down again. So like it's worth doing, but yeah, it's just
Annoying.
yeah. Like I think everything else would be fine except for the fact that they have evade of whatever element they're weak to. That's like a common thing they do in kind of all of the boss fights in this one. And I'm not super fond of it. Let me see here. I'll give everybody new weapons, maybe fuse a few new personas, and then keep going. I really wish they would just like put numbers here because like I don't know if the ice charm or the eye of ice is better.
I don't know either, I'm sorry.
It's all good. I might go on Google to find this out. Let's see.
I'm gonna guess it would be the higher chance. But I don't know.
let's see here. Okay, I had to go through like 3 separate GameFAQs articles or like message boards, but
you
the
answer?
Eye of Ice is better.
Oh. Is that the one I said? I don't know.
The one that said higher chance.
Yeah,
was
okay,
better.
that's right. Let's go.
Because on the wiki, what it said was the Ice Charm gives Dodge Ice, which is a skill basically in accessory form, and the Eye of Ice gives Evade Ice. And then I was like, okay, but which of those is the better one? And then I found an old message board where someone explained that Evade is better than Dodge. I think Dodge doubles your chance to avoid the attack, and Evade triples your chance. I feel like I should be fusing more new personas, because I've got a lot that are just like under-leveled at this point.
I'll start talking to chat because, like, I can't really be talking this late.
Yeah, that's all good. Thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I'll still be in chat though.
Okay, yeah, that works. Welcome back to the chat, Fridays. So what I was doing here was trying to make some better personas, but it actually looks like there's not a whole lot I can make that's like better than what I already have. Like my biggest issue right now is like weakness coverage, but I can't really make too much stuff that has better coverage than what I have now. I'm kind of thinking I should just get rid of the stuff I don't use to make room for stuff that I will use. I just want to make sure I'm not losing anything I would want to have on other stuff. This is probably fine. Then can I take Kusumitama and make that into anything? If I level up just one more time, I can make a Titania or Titania. Ooh. Wait a minute. This is very good. And I think it's already getting everything I would want it to have, so I will take that. Oh. You know, usually I don't get that many fusion accidents in a playthrough, but like this time I've gotten quite a few. I don't know if it's just like a boosted chance in the answer, or maybe I just have really bad luck. Ooh. We could make cert. Dodge fire would be useless. Oh, I don't know why I'm even looking at that. I need to be level 52. So let's go level up a bit. But if we can make a cert and start like passing Ragnarok around between all my different personas, that's going to be really good. I don't know how I would finagle it, but I think the way to go would be make cert, level it up enough to get Ragnarok, and then try to do something similar to what I did in the journey, where I make a Loki using cert. And then Loki natively has Bufudyne and Garudyne, and I think Megiddo or Megidola. And then I could also pass along Ragnarok, and I would probably be using that till the end of the game. Oh, I should go save after all that stuff I just did. I'm not sure if I did, so I'm going to do it again if I did. I can't remember if I just saved, so I'm gonna go do it again. Ooh, this was bad. So not terribly longer. This is the answer, which is like the epilogue. And I would say I'll have to go look at the number of doors we've been through. But I think we're at about the halfway point of this like epilogue story. And I've only been doing this for like a month or so. Maybe more, maybe even less. So let's see. Each set of doors that has like doors behind it is one we've completed. So we've completed 1, 2, 3, and we are working on the 4th out of 5, 6, 7. So we are past the halfway point. Yeah, if you saw him become the door, you have seen, for all intents and purposes, the end of Persona 3. This epilogue is... there is some stuff we learn about characters like backstories. The biggest thing is after the final boss, which I won't spoil it, since we're still playing through here, but it's like... It's not like an earth-shattering reveal. Like, it's not like he's gonna come back to life at the end of this epilogue.
There are 2 enemies. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Ooh. Also, which persona am I using? Because I did just do some like shuffling around of stuff. It doesn't seem particularly likely to me that these guys are going to be doing wind damage, so that's probably safe to use. Sometimes the tanks do fire damage, so I'll go with Ubeliurus. Probably butchered the pronunciation there, but that's nothing new. Let's go for it. Ah, we reflect.
Don't overdo it.
Did I forget to
It has multiple weaknesses.
do the tactics? I probably did. Or I may have like canceled it instead.
Persona! It's a tough one. 2 more enemies to go.
Oh no, Akihiko is on knockdown. He just chose to heal us. How very nice of them. For him.
It has multiple
Okay,
weaknesses.
so actually these guys are just doing pierce damage. So I should just switch to anything that does electricity. Because I don't think I have anything that can mess with... Ooh, I could get Null Charm actually? That would be huge. Because that's like maybe one of our biggest problems right now is charmed, not damage, but statuses.
shadows detected. The battle's over. There are two of them. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
I think sticking with a persona that is... Ooh, I have like no good choices here. I honestly might stick with Black Frost. Since it has the most weakness coverages. And then just try Bufu.
The enemy's weak against darkness.
Ooh. Not only do they have a light skill, they have the best light skill. Or the best light skill any enemy can have. Oh, I forgot to do the tactics.
2 more enemies to go. Understood. Give me
So I should not be using Black Frost. I should be using... Nadatashi might actually not be a bad pick. Beliaris is good. Let's use him. And go for a Herculean strike.
There's 1 enemy left.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's weak against Garu skills.
Okay, that one's actually weak against wind, so we're fine.
All right, sister. Let's get him. I must protect my sister.
I think the money is the pick here. I think I'm actually going to stay on the floor and explore and grind.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Not gonna forget this time.
I won't miss. I'm giving it my all. Persona! Strike attack.
Ooh.
It has multiple weaknesses.
Ooh. Just being weak to slash? That's... that's the trick.
Attack weakened. Please be careful. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target. I won't miss. It's weak against ice. Use Bufu skills. Persona! It's a tough one.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've regained my honor.
There are 3 enemies left.
So,
Attack weakened. Please be careful. Persona! 2 enemies to go. Out of power.
That one just won't die.
Someone help Metis. Akihiko Senpai defeated
Last
an enemy.
one.
Be careful. Metis is badly hurt. It's attack weakened. Please be careful. No shadows detected. The battle's over.
let me see.
There are 2 of them. Attack! It has multiple.
Zeo
It has multiple
and
weaknesses.
slash or
2
ice.
enemies left.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack to this game.
It has multiple.
I think
It has multiple.
I'm trying to think of what the word to like describe what I'm trying to say is, but
Understood.
like the baby, like that like battle theme is like so iconic to the series. Wasn't there like, I want to Google this before I like commit to saying it was a real thing, but I think in the Persona 4 anime there was a point where they used the song just because like it's that recognizable to Persona fans.
I must protect my sister.
I guess I can't take the Persona, so I'll just take health. Oh, never mind. It was not in the anime, I guess, because it's not on the wiki. It is apparently in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, though, if you use the Persona 3 costumes. So that is good to know when I start playing Persona 5 on this stream in like a year when I finally get through Persona 4.
It's weak.
Because that's gonna take a minute.
Understood.
I mean, 4 is not the longest game in the series. I think that honor is going to go to Persona 5 for sure. I would say the thing to keep in mind is that I play this in like 4-hour chunks once a week. So even if the playtime is like 60 hours or something, for example, that's still, you know, 16 hours a month, let's say. That's like almost 4 months of playing the game. So not a whole year, but... And I'll be playing Golden, which I actually never played because the version that was readily available at the time I played Persona 4 was the PS2 version. Golden was not out actually the first time I played Persona 4. And then when Golden came out, I just never got a Vita. And then the Vita tanked, so I never bought one after that because I didn't want to get it for just one game. And then I think for a while the way to... Yeah, I was gonna fully do, like, full rank everyone's social link. I'm planning to do that for all of the Persona games that have them. I did it with 3 already, and then 4 and 5, I'm going to do that too. I'll probably do the same thing I was doing for 3, where I have a guide to tell me if there's like a specific schedule or like order I should follow with that. But yeah, I know there is like an extra dungeon at the end of Golden, and there is like some extra content that takes place like during the winter. I don't remember or like know off the top of my head if all of that stuff is like related directly, like it's like winter stuff, final dungeon, or if it's like there's other stuff too, but I remember for like, it wasn't as long as 5, but 4 was like still an RPG, like still long. And I assume with the extra content in Golden it's even longer. So it'll probably still take me at least a couple months to get through Golden. But I think it's going to be fun. From what I heard about Golden, when it came out and just randomly since then, it fixes a lot of problems I have with the original version of 4 and even 3. There are some problems I have with this game. I love the whole series, but
It seems like it's weak against fire.
24 hours and just finished Kanji's Shadow. Yeah, so... So that's like 2 dungeons in. I forget exactly how many dungeons there are in Persona 4, but it's like there's Kanji, and then I think it's Risei. Is it Risei then Naoto? I feel like I'm forgetting one. Yeah. Okay, it is Risei then Naoto. So like it's Risei and Naoto, and then it's what's his face, like the fake killer, and then the other fake killer that seems more real. and then the actual killer, and then God. So there's like 5 or 6 dungeons after that. I might be forgetting one. I feel like there's more, but I don't know why. So I could see it being a good 60 hours if you're at 24 and just finishing kanji. Oh yeah, Teddy's after Rise. Like, I think I wasn't counting Teddy because it's like you do it in Rise's dungeon, technically. But yeah, that might be why I'm thinking there's like an extra one somewhere. But yeah, I think that's all of them. And then there's the new one in Golden. I don't know if the new one when the new one in Golden takes place, other than near the end.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
I won't miss.
It's weak against
Persona. All right, sister. Let's get. That one just won't die.
But yeah, I'll be playing Golden for the next few months after I finish this. And then I'll be playing Royal. And then Royal's like 100 hours from what I've heard to do everything. Maybe even more. So that might take me a while. But I am that. And then after I beat Royal, yeah, 140. Yeah, so Royal probably will actually take a year. If I continue my current pace of once a week, 4-hour chunks. But I stream at this pace because this is what fits my work and life schedule at the moment, so that's not likely to change.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Okay, these guys look like they could be trouble, so I'm gonna take this kind of slow. I might even... Ooh, do I use an item? Like, what would be safest to switch to here? Kind of nothing. I might even just wait, because the issue with tanks is...
The enemy's weakness is electricity.
Okay, so they do fire, magic, and strike damage. And they are weak to electricity only. So, what do I have that can do electricity damage and won't die to whatever they do? Black Frost can do bad electric damage. That actually might be it. Nope, we have a Thoth. Thoth would not be great, but it's probably the best choice I have. But then once I finish Royal, if 6 is not out by then, which it's very likely that it wouldn't be, even if what I suspect is true and the announcement in I think it's fall of 2022 is the very last announcement of the 25th anniversary. Even if that is Persona 6 that they're going to announce, I don't think it'll be out within a year of being announced. Not to mention fall of 2022 is probably around... I haven't done the math in my head, but let's say it takes like 4 to 5 months to play through Golden. Let's say I finish this game up sometime in November. So like May of 2022 would be when I finish Golden. So actually I probably would still be playing 5. Or I would be just starting 5. Somewhere between just starting and in the middle of 5 Royal when that last announcement happens. But if it's Persona 6, I bet it's still at least a year away from the date it's announced.
I got nothing.
Like, I would hope they learned their lesson from when they announced Persona 5, and it's not going to be like 3 years away, but it would be pretty rad if, or, what's the word?
That's the way.
Get him!
Sorry, I got that Discord ping, and it just, like, totally sidetracked me.
That's it. The enemy is down.
Alright, good job.
Like, I think if they announce Persona 6... If it's over a year away, it's gonna be, like, too soon. Like with 5, they announced it and like built up all this hype, and then it got delayed for like 2 or 3 years. And like, not that like people lost interest, but like everyone just got annoyed that this like huge game got announced and then it seemed like it just wasn't ever gonna come out. Royal does add, I've avoided like plot spoilers somehow this whole time for the 3rd semester, but I have heard that the 3rd semester is very good. And I've also heard there's a lot of quality of life improvements, which I am just always about. Ooh, Akechi gets to be a better character. I like that. Because I already liked Akechi in Vanilla 5, although I did think he was like a little bit of a knockoff of Adachi from 4. So I'll be interested to see how he gets better. Like the vanilla version of 5 was already very good, and from what I've heard, Royal is very good. I just hope if they announce Persona 6, it's like close enough to being ready that it's not gonna have the like release date pushed back like 5 was so many times. But I think if they announce it and it's like coming out in like a few months or something like that would almost be like too soon. Like they wouldn't be giving it enough time to like properly build up hype for it. So I feel like a year away is like a good time to drop like the first teaser trailer or something. You know, the trailer that's just like Persona 6, you know,
There are 3 enemies.
little anime trailer that shows us what the protagonist looks like or something, coming early 2023 or something. Like that's, like I think a year out is the good time to drop that first trailer.
Give me a
Pancakes in one of his navigator lines. That's that's funny. What was this one week 2? Fire? Probably just let Junpei take care of that one. And then
3 enemies left.
I'll use Belarus.
It's weak against electricity.
Weak against electricity. I probably should have stuck with Thoth.
Couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play Golden for the first time and Royal for the first time. I like bought Royal when it came out, but I was like, actually,
Sorry to keep you waiting.
I started this streaming project for, I think it was like a couple months before Royal released or something like that. Or maybe it was when Royal released. Hold on, let me look up when, like what.
Enemy left. Fight hard.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, never mind.
The enemy's
October 31st, 2019. So I started streaming in March of 2020. So Royal was already out by then. But you know what it is? I didn't have a PS4 for a while. I only got one fairly recently. I want to say I got it December of 2020. I might be wrong on
no
that.
shadows deep.
I think I got it as like a Black Friday deal. I forget if it was in 2019 or 2020. No, it would have been 2019. Never mind. But yeah, I started streaming in March of 2020, and then I was like, hey, I haven't played Royal yet. Why don't I save my first playthrough of Royal for when I get to it on stream? I feel like taking the like lower damage for the better hit rate is worth it. I like that voice line. Like no spoilers, but I can't wait to like hear the context
The enemy's
for that one.
Metis is badly hurt. Understood.
That one just won't die.
Come on, let's dance.
But then once I finish Persona 5, until Persona 6 comes out, I'm gonna have like another gap in my streaming schedule that I won't know what to fill in. I mean, Mondays slash whatever extra day. Is like whatever I want. I guess I could just start making Wednesdays also whatever I want. But this has kind of been like when I started streaming, it was just these Wednesday streams, playing every Persona game in order, starting with Persona 1 all the way up through 5. So I almost feel like
There are two enemies.
when I finish this, at least until Persona 6 comes out, I would want to like start up some kind of similar series, like playing through everything in a different series in order. Okay, ice and ice.
Two more
I might
enemies
actually
to go.
put Metis on knockdown. I guess if I was feeling extremely masochistic, I could play all the Final Fantasy games in order, but that would be a lot. Because, oh boy, there's a lot of those.
That was one hell of a fall.
I mean, I've played Final Fantasies 1 through 5, 7. I tried 8 once, but I couldn't get into it. I want to try it again with the like quote-unquote remaster that's really just like a port with cheat codes, I think, and widescreen support. But I want to try that because the thing that put me off 8 was the like draw system. If you haven't played 8, instead of just getting normal magic spells, magic was like items you used and you got them off enemies using a draw command. It was so bad. I could not stand it. And there was like a whole thing where like you could bind that magic to certain stats to make them like grow at different rates. It was a whole thing. But I might try 8 again at some point with the remaster that lets you just cheat. I played 10 up to the final boss and never finished it, not because I didn't like it, just it was one of those things where I put it down and never got back to it. And then I've also I play 14, the current MMO, although I know 11 is still technically running. So I've played 15, so I've played most of the Final Fantasy series and I enjoyed them. But I feel like trying to play them all in order would be like a very frustrating exercise, so maybe I wouldn't do that to myself. I think we need thought here.
I need your help. Good choice. The enemy is down. Keep it up.
I guess I could also just try other like RPGs. I could play through the SMT series,
The enemy is down.
or because I probably wouldn't really be able to play through the SMT series in order, maybe I would just do Nocturne
The way.
while I wait for Persona 6 to release. Or, you know, I was thinking about doing something special for when SMT 5 comes out, but maybe if I don't already end up... Actually, I probably won't end up playing SMT 5 all the way through on stream because I know Atlas has a really annoying habit of like getting on streamers' cases for playing past certain points of their games when they're like new.
I'm all out of options.
So if I stream SMT 5, I probably will comply with whatever those are just to keep my stream from getting nuked out of existence.
I thought that would do it. The enemies returned to normal.
But Nocturne, I feel like would be safer to stream because it's like a remaster of an old game, basically.
Careful. The enemy's going to attack.
Or yeah, I could just play other JRPGs, like I could play Xenogears. That's one that I've like been meaning to play through and just never have.
I need your help.
Use this.
Or I could even go through like a completely different series in that like play all of them in order fashion, like I could do the Zelda games or something. I don't know, that's like a year away. I have time to think about that. I don't even know what I'm going to play on Monday. I was thinking about doing like a belated Halloween stream or something because it's going to be November 1st.
I need your help.
Use this.
But the day after Halloween is also like All Saints Day. Maybe I could do something like funny with that. Like I could do a play some sort of like old Bible game or something. Oh, this is actually getting bad.
Keep your guard up at all times. It's weak.
So, ooh, I kind of feel like the move is heal everybody, so we're not dead.
Metis, the enemy's off balance. Too slow.
I got nothing.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is try
Enemy defeated.
Awesome.
to knock all these things down, and then instead of going for the all-out attack, I am going to revive Akihiko because I want him to get experience.
Systems.
Oh, that's bad.
The enemy. The enemy's
It might be time to upgrade my shoes. Actually, thinking about it. Because we've been like missing a lot of attacks.
I need your help. The enemy is down. Now's your chance. I need your help. That's the way.
Awesome. Persona.
Please knock them all down.
That's the way.
Awesome.
I need your help. The enemy is down. Now's your chance.
Here's a chance. Let's. Huh?
There
Why
are
not?
4 enemies left. Take this.
I owe you one.
The enemies return to normal. Careful. The enemy's going to attack. Careful. The enemy's going to attack.
Here.
The enemy.
I'm all out of options.
Okay, if I can knock all of these things down one more time, I think we have it.
Keep it up.
Get him.
Persona. Good choice. The enemy is
Get
down.
him. Persona.
Well, that's bad.
The enemies return to normal. Careful. The enemy's going to attack.
I got nothing.
Someone help Metis.
Use this.
Be careful. Metis is badly
Uh,
hurt.
do I have enough SP? I do not. That's bad.
That's it. The enemy is
Now's our
down.
chance.
Persona. The enemy is down. Now's your
All right,
chance.
good job.
We are 1 SP shy of the amount we needed. Not that it ended up mattering.
Careful. The enemy's going to attack. Someone help Metis. The enemies return to normal.
I got nothing.
Akihiko-senpai
Wait,
is in
part of my
trouble.
strategy.
Do I have anything that's like good against fire and strike? can be strong against fire or strong against strike, but not both. Ooh, I would really not want to use a Soma here, but at the same time, do I have a Soma? One thing I will do is I'll take a free turn. Never mind, it's not free.
Are you okay?
I'm still thinking. I can't hold out much longer. Can you manage? Waiting is part of my strategy.
Careful, you guys are in bad shape.
Okay, Junpei, you heal and support. Metis, you go into Orgia mode. I hate to use multiple bead chains on one fight, but I like really want this experience. Honestly, this fight wouldn't even be a problem if I had just like restored Akihiko's SP. I probably should have done that at some point.
Too slow.
Check this out.
There we go, now you're doing stuff, Junpei.
I'm all out of options.
Still 4 enemies
I'm
left.
gonna go ahead and use a Snuff Soul on Akihiko. And hopefully he would have enough SP at this point to
We do it.
knock them all down. Or at least make
Too slow. Nice, Metis. The enemies are
one of them go in.
I got nothing. Don't mess with me.
Since Metis already got the free knockdown on one of them, that's good. Honestly, I might also restore my own soul. Yeah. The fact that I can't command them
an enemy.
is really slowing things down.
Too slow. Nice, Metis. The enemy's off balance.
I'm still thinking. I won't lose. Here's our chance. I've been waiting for this. Okay, now!
There we go, finally.
I'll do my...
That was a struggle. I think I'll take more experience if I can. Never mind, I guess I'm getting health. Okay, so it's getting a little late in my time. Let me try to look for a way out of here. Ooh, I am not going to fight those tanks again if I can help it. I apparently couldn't help it.
Ambush. There are 5 enemies.
So I think I did see, yeah, Black Frost just has Trafui. We're just going to use that. I do not have the SP to do that fight again. Let me see. Oh, I definitely need better feet for Aegis. I think the Greaves of Dawn, are those better than They are better than the jet boots, but they evade wind, which I think is Junpei's weakness. So I should probably give those to him. Let's see if we can just... Oops. Okay. Oh, these things are annoying.
3 of them. Metis, can you move?
Can we run for it? There we go. Ooh, 2 treasure chests though. Can I really pass that up? I probably should have, based on the contents of that one. So,
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
I mean, this is only 2 enemies, and they're not particularly strong.
Understood.
I think we could take these down.
I won't go down.
Check this out.
Yeah, have a good one. Have a good night.
Game mode is go.
Thank you for stopping by for the call earlier.
Metis defeat.
Last
Pause every time.
I couldn't finish it off.
I won't go down.
Check this out. Dude, I gotta pull it together.
Assassin's shoes. Are those good for you, Akihiko? Evade Fizz medium. I think the main thing for us here is that they give better numbers. Because we're not hitting super often. 3 floors below us, okay. Let me see if this claymore is better than the one he has. Ooh, crit rate up. I think I want that. Okay, I am trying to get out of here though. Can I do that? Okay, it might honestly just be faster to like fast track our way down there. Okay, there's treasure chests, but like... Also, I'm gonna turn the game back up a smidge, because I turned it down because I couldn't hear Fridays in the call.
Surprise attack. 2 enemies. Attack weakened. Please be careful.
Okay, we definitely need to do some more grinding, but like... Ooh-wee. Oh, hello. Hive the Flame. Unfortunately, that is only going to help Mitsuru. That's not bad. I should actually see what we have equipped. It might be better than whatever we're working with. Can we escape?
I don't think you can get away.
Ooh, this might get bad. I think I'm gonna go for a Trifui. I really don't want to die. Yeah, we're just not gonna bother with the treasure chest. Okay, Fuku's gonna make sure Akihiko gets out safely. We're not gonna go back and revive him. That's just like running through more shadows, and our goal is not to do any fighting. Oh, how convenient.
But
So we're gonna warp back up this time, because Akihiko is not with us and we are low on health. Before I sign off for the night, I'll go ahead and do any like equipping or selling stuff. What else can we sell? Anything? Nah. Let me see what the footwear is like. Oh my god, these are so much better. Absolutely, I would like to equip that. I think we're fine on footwear for everybody. Armor. We can't get the best armor, so I think it's not worth it. Let's go equip everybody and then probably sell their equipment, and then from there we'll figure out if we can buy an armor and which one we would buy. So where is Metis? Metis, you need new foot armor. Okay, so you are at 88. Armor, that's probably equal to, I guess. Like neither of them are taking a ton of hits. Like they're not dying in one hit. If anything, I'll probably go for Aegis's armor just because we are the main character, and if we die, it's over. But to do that, I actually need to sell stuff. So let me see. What do I not need? There's a part of me that's looking at this like nothing I don't need. I guess I don't really need the Eye of Flame, but let me see. What do I have as my accessory on Aegis right now? I have the Flame Charm. So the Eye of Flame is a strict upgrade on that. I probably will do that. I think we're like just shy of the amount of money we need. We're just gonna ignore it. Or not ignore it, but it's not a huge issue. I'm gonna go ahead and save. And then thank you as I stretch all for watching. If you like what you see here, the best way to support me is to follow me here on Twitch or subscribe if you are so inclined. It's all very appreciated. Yeah, I will see you. I hope you have a happy Halloween, and I will see you on Monday for something. I haven't decided what yet. Good night, everybody.